Oh, hello. Welcome. This is the Four Valley Boys podcast. I'm your host, moderator, Favorite Bix. Super Bowl Sunday got D Rounder. He's ready to go. He's ready to
Yes,
talk
indeed.
ready to go.
Let's do it, baby.
I don't even know what the rundown is. I barely looked at it. So
I don't know. Me either. I don't know. But you know, us Fort Valley alum, we do have something called a brain.
a brain.
You know what I'm saying? Unlike that school that stole our colors. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, they stole the color, made it worse than what it was. But
yeah. But we digress. We digress.
Bartholomew. Okay.
Bartholomew, the first gay.
I'm not gonna do this with him today, but we're gonna go ahead and get this show started. Super Bowl.
Bartholomew, the first gay slave.
Black History Month.
Were you a power bottom?
Say what, sir?
Are you the power bottom?
Sir, I was just letting y'all know what I was, sir.
You gonna be real good from now on, Mr. Cates?
I sure am. Bartholomew sure is, sir. I sure am, sir.
Hit the button, Faye. Please.
Faye, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong, Faye?
Please, Faye, hit the button.
Let's go.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys.
Well, y'all missing a really good basketball game, right, boys?
I mean, what you want to do? Wait till Sunday to do the show?
Is that the real first gay slave?
No, it's Auburn, Alabama game. This some high impact basketball here, boy.
Is that the real first black
No, DJ, it's not.
Oh, okay.
And of course, this is Four Valley Boys. Get through our sponsors right quick because we have great sponsors that are not paying us, and we're still waiting for the show. Sundays and Wednesdays after the Super Bowl, we'll be back on Sundays and Wednesdays. So be ready for that. You're gonna see the return of Big Straw. Amazing.
Oh God. He need athletic director at ATWATER say he has to earn his scholarship back, man.
He's gonna be a walk-on to that, so that's fine. Of course,
he Prop 48.
Prop 40. Oh Lord, I got nothing for you. Crazy Straws. That's his sponsor.
On fire today.
Yeah. Crazy got straws. Crazy straws. Just for men. Got to grain your beard. Get that CB4 aisle 6 at Walmart. Go and get it. I'm not putting no grandma beard. I'm getting old. What's the point?
You ain't lying. My birthday in a couple weeks. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Dax Waving Groom. We had that in college. See right here. Wait,
hey,
Mike, show me the waves.
Hey, ATWATER had them cold-blooded waves back in '94.
Hey, it's a tsunami now.
Mike, show them your wave, Mike. You still got wave from '94 with the Dax Waving Groom. See that, y'all? See the wave?
Look at the LL hey lover look, Faye.
Hey lover, this is more than a crush.
That's the LL hey lover look, Faye.
No, you got
Hey, Damon, what the LL Cool J stand for, Damon, man?
They just love Cool J.
Oh, it did. Oh, okay.
Arizona Tea, Damon, how much?
$1.
When you drink the whole can, what you get?
Diabetic shot.
Diabetic shot. You'll be on no zippy like me. All right.
You're gonna pass out as soon as you finish the drink.
You follow us on Facebook for Valley Boys. Follow us on YouTube for Valley Boys. BuyNightShirt.com. Get you your stuff. Get your paraphernalia early. BuyNightShirt.com. Bernard Ingram, alumnus of the Fort Valley State University, has some great merchandise on there. I rep some of this stuff on the show. Got some great stuff. Get it. Damon, your podcast.
Kicked off yesterday, man. Season 2. You can catch it on Spotify or RSS.com. Hey, I'm happy to get back doing it. We talked about the Lions. I gave my Super Bowl preview and my prediction.
See, check
it out, man. Every Tuesday we're gonna release it. And I got a Patreon page. Hey, remind me to give you the dang on link to that.
Yeah, we gotta get that Patreon. And of course, Damien is rivaling Shannon Sharp. So check
Yeah,
out
Monique on there tonight, bro.
Oh yeah, she was.
Oh, she was on fire.
Yeah, she was.
I only caught a little bit of it. I'm gonna watch it, but she was on fire, boy.
That's something we can talk about on the Sunday show, Mike. Shannon Sharp with Cat Williams and the Monique interview. I know Cat Williams about a month ago, but it's still
man, they still talking about that Williams one, bro.
All right, speaking of the Cat Williams interview, y'all be on the lookout. I did a Cat ATWATER video. It'll be out real soon.
Oh Lord.
All right, go ahead, Faye. Sorry.
And of course, our favorite sponsor, Hennessy and Coke, Crown Royal, XO, Ginger Ale, the Dog Lickers. All right, we know what this weekend is. A Super Sunday. Games at 6:30 in Allegiance Field. Am I correct? Allegiance Field.
Yeah, it's in Vegas.
Vegas. Mike, you gave us some awesome questions to break down the Super Bowl. Let's start with the X Factor. One X Factor for each team going to this game. Let's go. Start with you, Mr. Atwater.
X Factor for the Kansas City Chiefs is anybody that's receiving the ball not named Travis Kelce. They got to get some big time contribution from Rice, Valdez Skeldon, what was receiver? Miko Hartman, whoever it may be, man. Them receivers that was getting criticized during the regular season for drops. I don't know if Kadarius Toney is available. I don't know if he's hurt or playing.
He practiced today. He practiced.
So Kadarius Toney is another one. But somebody else besides Travis Kelce got to catch passes for the Chiefs. And for the 49ers, I think the X factor is going to be them linebackers, Greenlaw, Warner, having to cover Travis Kelce, or just trying to spy Patrick Mahomes possibly. Those are the X factors for me.
Okay, go ahead, Dan.
I would say the X factor for Kansas City, Mike named one of them, but I'm gonna say NTN, the running back, the running back core. That's one, and Chris Jones is another. I think those two guys, well, the running back, I'm gonna use that as committee, and Chris Jones can affect the game more so than I think we name him, because if you can run on San Francisco, Detroit gave you the blueprint. You can get up. You know what I'm saying? And then on the defensive side, if you can rattle Brock Purdy, he's also been known to throw picks and put your offense decent field position. To me, for San Francisco, is Ayuk. He's the guy that can stretch the field. You know what Debo gonna give you on the ground and in the middle of the field, and you know what McCaffrey gonna give you on the ground and in the passing game. But Ayuk stretches the field so well that it also opens up for Kittle. And if you can get Purdy where he's comfortable and he can pick you apart, I don't think it's gonna be smooth sailing. But to me, we also got to look at both of these teams have very good defenses. What defense is going to be the one to make more stops than the other?
And I lost 22 pounds with hydroxycut.
You muted, Faye.
Easy to fit into my booty legs.
Do that every time. My key is going to be the defensive line, the front four, not in the front seven, just the front four, both teams. Whichever one can impose the wheel will win. Like Mike said, like both y'all said, Detroit gave the footprint to run the ball. You can run the ball against that defense. You really can run up the middle against them, or you can do some trick plays, some end arounds, or some misdirection, anything like that. If you get that going, the one weak link to me, there's two weak links on the 49ers. One is right tackle on the 49ers. So if I'm if I'm Spagnuolo, I will move Chris. I'll move Chris Jones to left tackle on their side and make a push on that B gap.
You'll overload that side.
And then the corners. The corners are if San Francisco get a pass rush, the corners play better. They play a little bit more freer. But
Right, because they don't have to guard that long.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So and another person, Sky Moore. We haven't seen Sky Moore in about a month and a half, 2 months.
Right.
We talk about Kadarius Toney, but we haven't seen Sky Moore. Probably because Rashee Rice has been playing lights out. So I think the defensive line for both teams.
Sky Moore hurt, ain't he?
Yeah, he's hurt. I thought he might be back by now.
It's gonna be an interesting Super Bowl because you're looking at a Kansas City team that's been experienced, they've been there, and you're looking at a San Francisco team that may not be as experienced, but their defense play experienced. If I'm the Chiefs, I would run at Chase Young, not Bosa.
Yeah,
I'm running at Chase Young. I'm not gonna run at Bosa.
Yeah, Chase Young take plays off.
He take plays off, and it was obvious in that Detroit game. He took like 3 big plays off where Gibbs got chunk yards on his side. Mm-hmm. I would run at him. I would make him wake up and play good football. Now, if he decides to do that, Fade, Kansas City in a world of trouble. Yeah. If he decides to do it.
I think Pacheco needs to have about 30 carries this game. And
that's what I'm thinking about, Pacheco. That's what I'm thinking about.
Not 30. I would say the running backs need to have about 30 to 35 carries. I
agree with that. Because then Mahomes and Kelsey and the receivers, they can kind of, I ain't gonna say kind of, they can how they route runners can be clear, it can be crisp because now safeties is coming up, the middle of the field opens up, and Kelsey gonna take that, he gonna eat that up. Receivers on the outside, as long as they don't have the dropsies this game, they should be good.
And I think they've been pretty good. I think
they haven't dropped any passes. That's what I was praying for when they played Baltimore, but I still say Baltimore gave that game away, but we digress.
They panicked in that first half. They panicked and like I said, they go back to I ain't gonna say panic. Everybody get mad at me about Todd Monken. You wet the bed on that one, dog. Yeah, Lamar didn't play great, but Todd Monken wet the bed on that game, dog. You had 6 running plays to running backs, and you the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL.
Yeah, we digress though. You right.
I don't understand that play call.
That's bad. That's just bad. Now I know I'm deviating. I know we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. We're gonna get to our picks in a second. The other question about Super Bowl. Just real quick, I should have brought this up last week after the game. Is John Harbaugh on a hot seat?
So that means losing Rich, then so be it.
No, I don't think so. And I'm gonna tell you why.
8 playoff games, 2-6 the last.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why you're not on the hot seat. In my opinion, as long as he's getting to these games and he's still putting up great numbers during the season, the only way I can see him being on the hot seat is if he digressed, going from the AFC Championship to getting put out in the divisional round or not making the playoffs at all. I don't see them put him on the hot seat. I think they're gonna give him somewhat of the Mike Tomlin treatment. That's just what I think. Now you may be right. They may put him on the hot seat. They may, but if he digressed from going to the AFC Championship to maybe the divisional round, I would say, yeah, you a lame duck coach next year.
He did that already when they had the number 1 seed in 2019. They were 14-2.
Oh, you're right.
They lost in the divisional round. The next year, lost in the first round, lost in the division round. Next year, he lost in the division round. The year after that, missed the playoffs and then lost.
You're right. So maybe he is safety. You're right, Fade.
That's just me. I'm not saying fire him. I'm just saying it's that.
What you think, Mike? What you think?
He's a Super Bowl champion coach, right?
Yeah, 11 years ago. Just like Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay. He got fired.
Yeah, he got a Super Bowl champ. And one of the years that they didn't make the playoffs, Lamar Jackson was hurt. So, I mean, nah. Jim Harbaugh, once again, is in that top tier of coaches in the NFL. He's nowhere near the hot seat.
Never said he wasn't. But at the same time, you've been there for 15 years. We've seen Bill Belichick there for 24 years. Last 3 years were lean.
No, I don't think he's safe.
I would say. I mean, Fabe is right. You brought up the history, so I can't argue that. I would say if it starts to happen again next year, and he put up these astronomical numbers, and he digresses in the playoffs, then I would say they may look at it. As of now, I don't think so.
I think personally they need another receiver
to put on the other side of Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
And I would treat Flowers like Arizona treated Larry Fitzgerald in his last couple of years when Arians was the coach. He told him, if you get in the slot, you're gonna get 90 catches a year. And just like dog poop stank, he had 90 plus receptions in the slot. And look how he used Chris Godwin in Tampa Bay also.
Yeah.
But let's get back to. I just want to ask that because it was on. I forgot to ask that question last week. What would the legacy be if Patrick Mahomes wins his third championship in 6 years? Damon,
you would have to consider him as one of the all-time greats. You doing it now, but if you look at this man's resume, Mahomes is what, 27, 28? He's been in the league how many years? 6 years, right?
7 years.
7 years. So if you're looking at the first 7 years of his career, 3 Super Bowls, MVP, passing yards is astronomical, touchdowns numbers through his 7 years is astronomical. I think he was the fastest to do both. And
he got 2 MVPs, right?
2 MVPs.
You would have to consider this guy as one of the all-time greats. If not, you can probably make an argument that he is the best.
He's already right now in the top 10 as far as quarterbacks all time. Now, where he falls in that top 10, I mean, you know, I ain't saying he 1, 2, but he's in the top 10 quarterbacks all time.
Top 5, Mike.
The top 5, man. Like,
nope.
I think the problem with the top 5, a lot of times, we always, as historians of the game or people that follow the game, we always seem to give more credit to the people of the past than give credit to the people of the present. For an example, nobody's going to be willing to take Joe Montana or maybe John Elway out that top 5 because of their wins, just because we grew up on them. Like we focus on that a lot with the history of the game. Like we're not going to be willing to take certain people out to put Patrick Mahomes in. But when you think of quarterbacks all time, he's got to be. He's in that top 10 already. This man has been in the league 7 years, and he has been in 6 conference championship games,
consecutively,
2 Super Bowls,
consecutively. Don't forget.
Yeah, consecutively. Yeah, 6 in a row. Like right now, he is the comparison to what LeBron did going to the finals all them years. That's the kind of legacy he's in right now. And we know LeBron is arguably one of the top 5 or 10 players all time. I ain't even gonna say 10. He one of the 5 best players all time. So Patrick Mahomes is in the top 10, but I just don't know where he would fall.
To me, Jeffrey right now, just hear me out, because his career is still going. And the game hasn't been played yet Sunday. To me, he'll be at 10. Maybe 9. Because if I name them off right now, Terry Bradshaw, Starback, Montana, Brady, Elway. You got to put Marino in there.
We're going to put Marino in there with no rings?
His body at work, yes. Because it's more than rings. That's what folks don't realize. It's more than rings. He revolutionized passing in the 80s.
When there was no passing.
When there's no passing. You could argue to put Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's in there.
All right, so let me ask you a question real quick, Faye. I'm gonna give you an analogy. Would a chick still be considered bad if she had a pretty face but no ass? Would you still be considered bad?
I'm not answering that one.
That's subjective. I get what you're saying, Mike. It depends on the person's taste.
Not necessarily the person taste, but you gotta look at the whole body. What I'm saying, if we gonna rank the best of the best, rings got to play a factor too. So that's why I said about the analogy with the girl. Can a woman truly be bad if she don't have a backside? And I guess, like you just said, I guess that's possible. It is true. You can.
I give you an example.
Cause, like, for an example, I don't, just by looking at movies, it don't look like Halle Berry got a big one back there, but she's gorgeous.
She don't have a big one.
So she would be considered that. That's answering my question.
I was gonna say this because everybody adores this woman, Jennifer Aniston.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Hey, I'm just saying she's been voted the most beautiful woman in the world a couple of times.
By white folk.
My wife hope.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's who run Hollywood. That's my point. It's subjective. To the brothers, she's a pretty face, but she ain't all that. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I guess Marino, because Marino for a while did have the passing record for most yards. I think he's won the MVP. So
Brett Favre. Jim Kelly.
I am a huge Marino fan, fellas, and here's what argument you can make for Marino besides the rings.
He had no ring.
Faye brought up a good one. In the 80s, it was like the Big Ten was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Receivers could get held, mugged, everything by corners. And here's a guy that passed for 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns when it was unknown to do that. And he kept that up, and he was a statue. He couldn't move. So you can make the argument. Mike made the argument. He was all-time touchdown leader for a little while. He was all-time passing yards. And if you want to be completely honest, if the corners could do what they could do to the receivers, he probably still would be right now. Anybody can pass 5,000 yards almost.
Yeah.
Or 4,500. You know what I'm saying? But Mike bring up a good point as far as the rings. That's why I love Dan Marino. I'll probably put Dan between 6 and 8 because of the rings. Now, if he had at least one, he would be in my
top 5. Easy. Top 5.
He would be in my. If he had just one, he would be in my top 5.
Yeah, Peyton Manning will be 5 or 6 to me.
5. I think P. Manning will probably be right at 4.
Right at 5 because of. I look at it like this. He struggled all the way to 2007. He really, if you look at it, that year they won it. If Bill Belichick would have punted the ball and trusted his defense, they wouldn't have went to the Super Bowl.
So if you look at the top 10, we're looking at right now. We ain't even gonna include Patrick Mahomes. And this ain't no order. Brady, Montana, Marino, Peyton Manning, Bradshaw. That's 5. Brett Favre, Aikman, Elway. Hell, we had 8 right there. I just named 8.
Mm-hmm.
So,
as much as people don't,
then we got to put Aaron Rodgers in. That'll be 9.
You might have to put him in there.
You could throw Jim Kelly in there also if you want to.
No, we can't. I don't know if we can put Kelly in before Mahomes. But Mahomes got rings.
4 straight Super Bowls.
Didn't win none of them.
The body of work is what's tough, y'all. The body of work is what's tough because I see what Mike is saying. You got a Aaron Rodgers who won 3 most valuable players, won the Super Bowl.
4.
And then you looking at Jim Kelly, who led a Buffalo Bill team to not 1 but 4 Super Bowls
in a
row. That hasn't been done since he retired. So you're looking at the body of work and what people would consider a top 10. Anybody's top 10 to me is subjective in any sport. In any sport, baseball, basketball, football, any sport, you're gonna have an argument. You're gonna always have your quote Mount Rushmore, maybe not in the order that most people put them in, but you're gonna have 4 consistent players that we all think is top 10. in every sport. It's just a matter of who like what. You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be a debate we could bring back up after the Super Bowl if he wins.
That's right. It would be if he win it. I'm gonna be honest with you, if he win it, I would put him in my top 5. If Mahomes win it, he would go to my top 5. 3 Super Bowls in 6 years, multiple time MVP. His body of work is impeccable at a young age. Now remember, he's not even 30 yet. So he would be in my top 5 right now, and he's under 30.
Do y'all realize when we go back to Tom Brady? I'm gonna briefly go back. He has had 3 Hall of Fame careers in one.
Yep.
Just the same argument with Barry Bonds when baseball, which we don't talk about a lot, except on maybe some Sundays. Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he went.
A lot of people don't realize that though.
He was a 40-40 man. People don't
in
like when Barry Bonds at Pittsburgh. He was a dog, man.
Dog.
He was a 40-40 man with speed and everything before he even went to San Francisco.
Yeah, and couldn't get past the Braves. Just couldn't get past the Braves. And that wasn't on him.
We go, hey, I can't wait till baseball season come up because I want to, man. If there was a time, I was always a Tiger fan, but if there was one team that I respected the snot out of that didn't win as many as they should, was the freaking Braves. Them boys were dangerous back in the day. But Braves
might win that thing this year, to be honest, man. We talking baseball. The Braves still gonna be back. They needed to shore up a couple of things with their pitching. The Braves gonna be right back in that thing.
We'll get on that. We're gonna see the Super Bowl.
Those Dodgers
brought it up.
Those Dodgers.
Oh yeah, them Dodgers, yeah.
They tough, man.
Yeah, them Dodgers gonna be tough too.
I'm gonna tell you why. I know we still got some more football to talk about. We're about to talk about get the Shanahan and then talk about the greatest teams of all time. But Clayton Kershaw re-signed with the Dodgers yesterday. He's gonna be out the first half of the year. Think about a healthy Kershaw going into September, October.
Dangerous.
That's what they need, man.
That's why they won it in 2020 because Kershaw was healthy. They didn't play until July.
And boy, he was throwing that smoke too.
It's a lot of baseball, and I'm really can't wait to talk about.
The Yankees definitely need to bounce back this year. The Yankees gonna have to bounce back.
They got Juan Soto. That's a left-handed bat in that short porch. They needed a left-handed bat, and they still needed a pitcher. They should have got Yamamoto. They should have ended up for Yamamoto, but Yamamoto wanted to play with Ohtani. So, like I said, we know baseball. We just don't talk about it because
we and actually that's my first love when it came to sport, baseball. So yeah, I love some baseball.
We definitely can talk.
I really get into baseball after the All-Star break. When it started getting July and getting close to the trade deadline, yeah, I'm all in on some baseball.
Talk about it, really.
Yeah.
And before we finish, let me let everybody out there that know, people that, especially you purists, you baseball people, Barry Bonds, regardless if he's in the Hall of Fame, is one of the 10 best baseball players to ever play. Ever play. I had an arm. The reason I brought this up somebody to me today. To ever play, Barry Bonds one of the 10 greatest to ever do it. Don't forget the steroid. Don't be disrespectful. He one of the 10 greatest to do it.
And all you gotta do really, if you really watch baseball like you say you do, look at his Pittsburgh Pirate years. Don't even look at his San Francisco years. Look at his Pittsburgh Pirate years. The man, like Mike said, was a 40-40 guy a majority of the time he was there. He just went. What happened was, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. We're gonna get to football, y'all. I'm sorry. When all the power hitters came and started hitting 45, 50, they started getting, he felt left out. He felt he had to do something to sustain his greatness. All he had to do was keep doing what he was doing. That's all he had to do.
Yep.
Let me ask y'all a question too, because y'all are baseball people too. Why do they make such a big deal about the steroid thing, man? I'm really confused with that, man.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Explain that to me.
Because it's the purest game. But the thing is, you won't let McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, A-Rod in, but you let Bud Selig in, who oversaw the steroid
whole steroid era.
That's crazy.
You didn't let Sheffield in. You didn't let none of the guys that saved baseball. Mainly Sosa and McGuire.
Did Palmaro get in?
No. And he's one of 5 players with 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. And you telling me you ain't letting him in? Manny Ramirez, arguably one of the greatest right-handed hitters in our era,
Pure
he ain't
right.
in.
Yeah.
He ain't in.
Now, if you just want to talk about just pure top 10 baseball, we got to put Babe, DiMaggio, Frank Robinson, Barry. If you want to throw some pictures in, if you want to
bring up a great point too. He bring up a
Ken Griffey Jr. might need to get some consideration.
Not might, got some consideration.
But I mean, you name it. But hey, look who you just named, though, bro. Like, well, you named Robinson. You name. I mean, it's gonna be tough, man.
Injuries hurt Griffey. Injuries killed Griffey.
Lady, when he went to Cincinnati, that would hurt him.
Yeah, and plus injuries killed his career. That 2 years before he left Seattle, remember he tore his knee and he was out a majority of that season. Then he got hurt when he was in the baseball chase for home runs too. Remember, Sosa and McGuire had like 58, 59. He was right behind him with 55.
Yeah, when he was in Seattle.
Yep.
In that big stadium, and the thing about Ken, like I said, we got football. We got playing time football, but baseball we don't talk about. We don't give enough love on the sport on the show. He had one of the most beautiful swings.
Oh my
Man,
God!
what you talking about?
That basic in and out swing was beautiful. It was gorgeous, and with hand-eye coordination. The swing was just that pretty. I tell you who else had. It was an ugly swing, but it was dangerous. Gary Sheffield.
Gary Sheffield.
Gary Sheffield.
Yeah. Like that?
They were saying that's what tore his wrist up.
Yeah.
Constantly waggling the bat like that. But when he made contact, he made contact. You know what I'm saying? It was, you got players that you look at and say, stats-wise, take their stats before. Please put them in the Hall of Fame. That's why I was saying Kelvin made a great point. I can't really say it may give you the strength, but hand-eye coordination
and recovery time.
Recovery time. That's something you either born with or you work on.
I'll tell y'all somebody else, man, that can be considered top 10. Man, Tony Gwynn.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yes, I'm telling you, man.
Yes, sir.
Tony Gwynn is one of the best hitters of all time, dude.
Yeah, most definitely. There's no argument with Tony Gwynn. No. That strike took away his 400 average season.
Yeah. Ted Williams. Forgot about Ted Williams.
Love Ted Williams.
Don't tell me. Sorry.
Love Ted Williams.
That top 10 gonna be tough, Mike. Right.
Yeah, it is. It is, cuz. It sure is.
You looking at some of the greatest players back in the day, people who know the game. I would say Babe Ruth is probably the best athlete to play. Started off as a pitcher, then a power hitter. Think about it. He was a dangerous pitcher. Then he turned around. It's just like the pitcher now. Dangerous. Yeah. He can strike you out, then go and hit 4 home runs in the game.
I think Ohtani just need to hit.
I agree with you. I think the pitching is taken away. Well, it will. I think he just need to concentrate on hitting.
Because when he had just that UCL surgery, this is his second one now. This is his second.
Yeah, I would concentrate on hitting. Yeah, he's too dangerous of a hitter, bro.
Okay, when we start talking baseball, when we do these top 10 lists, Mike, we're gonna have to break it down from hitters
to pitchers.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. Because then you get into Tom Seaver and Tom
Greg Maddux. Randy Johnson,
Bob Gibson, Bruce Gossage, Eckersley. Because Eckersley was a starting pitcher before he went to the bullpen.
So was John Smoltz.
Mariano Rivera. You got to put Rivera in there.
Yeah, he's in there regardless. I mean, when you get into the Hall of Fame with 100%, 100%.
And let's not forget one of the few players that was able to bat 300 for his career, both sides of the ball. Larry Wayne, Chipper Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bat 300 from both sides of the both sides. That's
Hey,
his
we
career.
sorry, fans. We showing up. We had to get a baseball for me. We apologize.
Back to football. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Back to football. All right. Quick yes or no. If Shanahan doesn't win, how do we look at him? Real quick.
A guy that can't win the big one. A guy that's he's regular season, not postseason. He's a regular season coach. And that's unfair because he probably he know more football than I ever will. If you look at what happens come playoff time, that's what it always seems to fall back on.
I know I forgot to do. I forgot to put the page on public. My bad. I know I forgot to do something. That's why everybody can work.
That's what I think, y'all. I think that he is the guy that will always be known as the premier seasonal coach, but when it comes to postseason, you know what I mean?
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I think for Shanahan, he ain't gonna be on no hot seat or nothing to lose his job, but he's gonna go in the category with some of the other great quarterbacks at the time, Mark Levy and guys like that. So he's got to win one, man. He got to win one.
I would agree with you.
Since we're talking about Super Bowls, transition to our next topic. There have been 57 Super Bowls before this coming up Sunday, which means there have been 57 winners. Of course, several teams have multiple championships. In your opinion, what are your top 3 greatest Super Bowl teams?
Woo! Boy, Fade put one on the spot. Then, boy. I got to go to 85 Bears. I've got to go with. I got to go with maybe the 91 was it 92, 93 Cowboy. I ain't saying it because I'm a Cowboy fan, but the team they put together then, they were loaded. And I got to say like that 89 49er team.
88 49ers, I think they went
88.
They went 14-2. 14-2. You put a 95. I
agree with you with the 89. I agree with you the 85 Bears. I agree with you on the 88 San Fran squad, but I'm gonna go Mario stole mine. I'm gonna go 3 and 3B. The 91 Redskins and the 96 Green Bay Packers with Edgar Bennett, Gilbert Brown,
Reggie.
Yeah. That team scared me because Reggie White, I've never seen anybody get bull rushed the way he bull rushed Cuz in that Super Bowl. I've never seen anybody push somebody down the way he pushed that man down, bro. That team was so balanced. They could run the ball. They could pass the ball with Favre and Chimura and all them boys. And then on the defensive side, who was getting past Gilbert Brown?
Nobody.
He took up 2, maybe 3 blockers, which gave Reggie White one-on-ones on either side of the ball. And at that time, that 6'5", 300-pound monster could run past anybody, or he could bull rush you out the way. Now, Elway and them beat them boys the next year.
And that went in a good Denver team.
Right. So
that next year when they went
back to one the back-to-back with Terrell and all the
the one that beat the Falcons.
Beat the hell out of the Falcons.
Yes. But I'm saying if you look at that squad, and now I am a hard Green Bay fan, but I'm looking at you get a chance to you go on YouTube, you get to see them games, they'll bring them back. And it's like, God, I forgot how good that Packer team was. They had Dorsey Levens and Edgar Bennett. They had a 2-headed monster with both of them ran in between the tackles, but Dorsey could hit the outside. Chimera, what was the other receiver? That was the tight end, but I forget that receiver's name.
I know Desmond was on that team, but
yeah. but he was more of a specialist.
Yeah, he won MVP that year.
Right, he was more of a punt kick return specialist. He really didn't play receiver like that. So I'm looking at that squad right there. But that 91 Redskins team, that's the team that put us out en route to go to the Super Bowl. They beat the bejesus out the Lions in that NFC Championship game.
That's with Mark Rippon, Art Monk, Gary Clark. I think that was the receiver. Ricky Sanders. I think that was that squad.
Mhm.
Yeah, but what's the name? What's the black quarterback name? He ended up playing in the Super Bowl.
Doug Williams won on that squad there.
He went on that squad.
That's Mark Rippon.
No, Doug Williams won the Super Bowl like 87, I think.
87,
Okay.
80, the strike year, 87.
That's right.
And Timmy Smith
right.
won MVP.
That's
Timmy
right.
Smith won MVP, and the next year he was garbage.
That's right. You're right.
I'm pulling up the roster for the Green Bay Packers when they won the Super Bowl that year. They had Andre Rison on that team. Folks don't realize
You
that.
did. Yep.
Antonio
They did.
Freeman.
Antonio Freeman. That's who I'm thinking about.
That was a bad joke right now.
Yeah, he was clutch, man. Robert, he was clutch.
Keith Jackson was the other time that you think about, Damon. Keith Jackson.
Yep.
Yep.
They had that squad had a squad, bro, and they were so balanced. That's what made them so dangerous. You try to shut one part of their offense down, all they gonna do is get that 2-back set, and they gonna kill you with Levins and Edgar Bennett.
I'm almost done.
And neither one of them was 1,000-yard rusher. I think Edgar had like 800 yards, and Dorsey had like 900, 920 something like that.
Eugene Robinson was on that team too.
Yep.
Mr. $40.
Mm. They would that it's hard, man. When you're trying to put together lists like this, it's tough on you because you think of one squad and then all of a sudden another one come up. You're like, God, I forgot about this one. So it's more so people gonna bring up their favorite, and we may agree on favorites, and then somebody bring up one, you be like, oh wow, how can I forget that one? You know what I'm saying? Because if I swear the Giants didn't beat New England that year with Randy Moss, that might have been the greatest team. They would have took over that Miami Dolphin team.
If you told me that Patriots team was going to only score 14 points, I would have laughed at you. But those two Giant teams that won the Super Bowls, they had superior elite defenses. Yeah,
it wasn't Eli Manning. It was the defense.
The defense, because they can rush 4 and not blitz.
Yeah,
rush 4 and not blitz.
Would you put a team that was only dominant on one side but still won a Super Bowl? Because you got two of them, Tampa Bay
and
Baltimore.
But remember, Tampa Bay did the same thing.
No, let's freeze frame that right quick. Yeah, they did, but remember who they played.
They played Oakland.
And who was the coach of the Oakland Raiders the year before? John Gruden.
Okay, yeah.
Same playbook.
Got it.
Exactly what they're going to do.
All right, that makes sense.
John Gruden fluked his way into Super Bowl. If Tony Dungy wouldn't have fired Tony Dungy, they would have won it with Tony Dungy.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me ask y'all this: let's eliminate the 07 Patriots out of this conversation, because you know where I'm going to go with this right here. Eliminate the 07 Patriots. What's the greatest team to not win a Super Bowl?
It might go back to what you were talking about earlier. It might be them Bills teams with Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Kelly, Bruce Smith,
BB.
Good gracious, boy. Them Buffalo Bill team of the early 90s. Of course, you said we can't use the Patriot team. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw one in. I'm gonna throw
that 2000 Rams team that we're gonna go, or 2001 or whatever.
Yeah, that year. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw one in there, and that just should tell you that I love football, man. I don't know exactly what year, but one of them Fran Tarkenton Minnesota teams, they had Tarkenton. Oh yeah, that 98 Vikings team. But I'm going way back. Tarkenton had a squad. I want to say they played Was it Kansas City? No, it wasn't Kansas City. It was one of the teams that they were supposed to beat. It might have been, I don't remember. But they had a defense called the Purple People Eaters, and Tarkenton was the quarterback. And they had it was a decade where Minnesota was like the NFC team to beat. Because Tarkenton, he was a stud, man. That dude was a heck of a quarterback, man.
Yeah.
You don't get enough flowers, in my opinion. He was a heck of a quarterback.
He was. Now, the team Mario brought up, this probably might be the best team to not win the Super Bowl.
That 98.
Matter of fact, the only reason why I would say this don't count because they didn't even make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Falcons beat them. Yeah,
the Falcons beat them. They flew. You had a kicker that was perfect the whole year and missed the kick to win the game.
That was a real good. That was that Robert Smith and them squad.
Robert Smith, Jake Reed, Chris Carter, and Randy Moss first year, and I think Randall was throwing the ball.
Yep. Randall Cunningham. Yep.
And he need to get some flowers. I mean, think about it.
That's true.
To get some flowers.
Hey, what about that? To not winning. What about that McNair Eddie George Titan team?
Yeah, 1 yard short.
They're 1 yard short. Lost to the Rams.
And you know that
I think on turf.
One of the linebackers from the Titans, he's going to be one of the officials in the Super Bowl. How about that?
Sure is.
I saw that, a black dude.
Yep. Sure, I saw that.
I'm gonna give you another team that should have won it. We're gonna use the Vikings. That 89-90 49ers team that lost to the Giants that year.
Oh yeah.
No, 90-91. Yeah, the 90-91 Falcons 49ers team. They should have went to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Giants. I think Montana got hurt that game.
Yep.
Yeah, and that he messed his elbow up. That's when Steve Young started taking over. And they traded him. They traded Joe Montana to Kansas City.
What is it like to get? You just made me think of something. What is it like to take over a squad and finally get that Super Bowl? I feel sorry for Bledsoe because he got hurt, but then it opened the door for Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing for Steve Young. And then Steve Young finally won it. And Tom Brady got more Super Bowls than half the league. He got more Super Bowls than any team himself than any team in the league.
Yeah, Drew Bledsoe got Wally Pill.
That was terrible. And I would watch Drew Bledsoe because it was around the time Dan was there, but he was starting to fall. And you used to watch New England and Miami, and them boys would pass for yards out this world. And you looking at him get hurt, and a 6th-round guy from the University of Michigan come in and lead them to 6 Super Bowls.
6-3 with the Patriots. 6-3.
Man. Yeah. How would that make y'all feel, bro? Like I was there and I got hurt, and it took me from winning my Super Bowl.
Technically, he won the Super Bowl. He won them that Super Bowl in the championship game when Brady got hurt. He won them. He got them to the Super Bowl because Bledsoe had to come in and mop up because Brady, I think he hurt his ankle or something.
Yeah.
Another what if team. Another what if. If Dante Culpepper wouldn't have got hurt in 04, 05 with his
right, yeah. That was a good Viking squad.
Yeah.
That was 05, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, 05. Yeah. Because they lost to Carolina that year.
That's crazy. You got a lot of teams, a lot of what if teams, bro. Like the biggest what if team 4 years straight is that Buffalo squad. That's the biggest what if team you'll ever see.
Don't forget me.
Another one, y'all think about the 94-95 Cowboys. What if they would have beat San Francisco that year?
Mike, does that one hurt more than the other ones?
It hurts not going and getting back there.
Okay.
Like them Super Bowl losses or not getting there, you know, it hurts when you're supposed to have all this top talent and not getting there at all. Not at least getting to the conference championship game, bro. Like that's the part that's offensive.
I can understand that. I get that.
Look at another.
What we got next, big dog?
take a look. I
Big
think
dog.
you had your quarterback tiers, I believe.
Got a quarterback tiers there, Biggin.
Oh, tiers. Then you also had if you need 3 quarterbacks in the Super Bowl area on your all-time Super Bowl team, what 3 quarterbacks are you picking to win you a game?
I'm going Brady. Ooh.
It's easy for me.
I'm going Aikman. I know y'all might not like that one. I'm going Brady, Aikman, and Montana.
I would change it. Check out Aikman and put Elway.
I'm going Elway. I'm going Brady. Yeah, Montana. And my 3B will probably be Aaron Rodgers. Prime Aaron Rodgers. Not the one that's talking sideways on Pat McAfee. I'm talking about prime Aaron Rodgers. MVP Aaron Rodgers. Because remember, he could do it with not only his arm, he could do it with his legs rolling out. I've never seen anybody throw a prettier pass rolling out than Aaron Rodgers. Never. Y'all can say what y'all want, but I'm not rolling. I'd rather him stay in the pocket than roll out of it. That's just me. I would defend him in the pocket.
But when he roll out, though.
But when he get a chance to roll out, you're done. 65 to 80% of the time. I would defend him in the pocket. Do not let him out the pocket. Because once he's able to improvise and he got receivers that he can trust, that know how to break a route and just get open, you're done. Because it seems like his arm gets bionic on the run. It's crazy. But Brady, I would go Brady. I would go Elway just off the drive. If anybody remember the drive.
98 yards.
I would just off that.
AFC Championship game against Cleveland.
Just get to overtime.
Just off that, I'm going off him. A lot of people don't realize he was supposed to go to Stanford for a baseball scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got drafted by the Yankees, right?
The Yankees.
Yeah, they say he was a better baseball player than he was a football player.
That's crazy. And he said, "I'm not playing for Baltimore." So he went back.
Yeah.
And then Bronco drafted him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they saying. Caleb Williams saying he don't want to play for Chicago.
Dude, you gonna go play where you gonna play?
That don't. You know what? If I'm Chicago, it won't bother me because I still got Drake May. I still got Jaden Daniels. It won't bother me. I would, if he say he won't play, I would go after Drake May. That's just me. That's a prototypical quarterback, 6'4", with the line that Chicago's trying to build and the defense they're trying to build. You don't have to be as mobile as Justin Fields is running for his life.
Now we look at let's just play devil advocate. We got time for the draft also, but if they draft Caleb Williams, they fall into the same trap they did with Justin Fields. You got
that's what I say.
Eberflus is going to be a lame duck coach again, and they're going to fire him, which means he's going to have to learn a second system in 2 years. You're going to have the Alex Smith effect. Alex Smith is maligned because folks don't realize he had 7 offensive coordinators in 7 years. 7.
Mm-hmm. So how he going to grow when they change an offensive scheme every year?
Especially if you had Tom Sula and Mike Singletary, and I think Mike Nolan was his coach for a time too. And that's not fair for a guy coming out number 1 pick, even though Aaron Rodgers could have been number 1. That would have made more sense. But at that time, Alex Smith was the safer bet at 1, and Aaron dropped all the way down probably because of his attitude, which just still shows to this day. But neither here or there. Last time before we go, Mike's tiered quarterbacks, the last ranking for the year.
I don't have it pulled up. I did it. I'm doing it in 3 volumes. So I just did volume 1 was just 21 through 32, but I put it in the group chat. I didn't print it or nothing.
You got Matt Jones at 32, Desmond Ridder, Zach Wilson, Bryce Young, Tommy DeVito, Sam Howell, Kenny Puckett, Joshua Dobbs, Aiden O'Connell, Kyler Murray. I would say Kyler Murray would get a pass because he'd been out most of the year, but he played pretty well when he came back. Gardner Minshew, to me, he's tier 3 because they had a winning record when they started. They fourth overall pick got hurt, and Jake Browning. That's your
Yeah, that's 21 through 32. What you think about that, Damon?
I don't really have an issue with it. The one I hate to say he just got drafted to the wrong team is Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
I hate he got drafted to that squad because they put absolutely nothing around him for him to grow and then threw him to the Lions. So his stats to me is somewhat tarnished because they did nothing to protect him or anything. They just threw him out there.
And you don't have any draft capital to build around him for this year.
Build around him for the next couple years. They don't really have any draft capital to put anything around him for the next couple of years.
It sounds like Brian Burns is still under contract. You have to get rid of Brian Burns.
That's the only one that I hate that's in there. You're not wrong, Mike. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just hate that he was.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, he had a tough year.
Yeah, and to me, the year being tough wasn't his fault.
Management, which goes to show you when you have a general manager, owner, and coach in lockstep like the Houston Texans.
Ooh, CJ Stroud, I owe you a big time apology, sir.
He tier one to me, tier one.
I apologize from the depths of my soul, sir.
Think about with CJ Stroud. His main offensive weapons kept getting hurt, and he still balled out.
And he still showed what he was. But we should have seen that with the glimpse how he played against Georgia.
Yeah.
You put some good weapons around that kid, and they stay healthy. You looking at a playoff team that can make a heck of a run, even in the AFC.
Which brings me to the next question. I know we got a little bit of time left. Jacksonville, is this a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence? Or you gonna give him a pass because he pretty much was hurt the last 7 weeks?
I want to give him a pass because of that, and because his first year was turmoil. What could he actually do? Meyer around here, they say he's trying to get lap dances and trying to show his Ohio State national championship ring like in the Water Boy. Hey, Mike, go out there, Mike, Water Boy. Go out there and do what you got to do. Point to the ring like you won. Go do that. That's how Urban was acting. He was acting like that in Jacksonville. I'm going to the strip club. You do what I got to do. I would give him a pass, though, because now next year, to me, would be his break year.
First thing you got to do, you got to re-sign Calvin Ridley.
Yep. You got to keep some weapons around these young quarterbacks, man.
That's
why Justin Fields was running for his life until he was able to get a decent receiver.
And he still running for life because off his line ain't worth nothing.
Well, right. That goes to what you said, Faye. Management. You fire coaches left and right. You don't have a real scheme to make the team better. Who suffers? The one who they put the most pressure on, the quarterback. And if he's young, he really suffers.
Two last thing. Calvin Ridley, if you don't go to Jacksonville, I know a place where you could go. It's in Missouri.
In Missouri, man.
No.
So Calvin Ridley, you don't want him in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Kansas City definitely gonna have to address that this year, man. In the offseason, getting a starter season.
Yeah. That would be great because that really opens everything up for Kelsey for real.
Wide open. I'll say you try to revamp the whole receiver core like you did last year. Just do it again. Before we go, I know an unscheduled parting shot. Andy Reid, you are on the board. You're being recognized as possibly being a Mount Rushmore coach. I don't see how, but that's neither here nor there. But the comments you made today about how would you accept Eric Bieniemy back on your staff? You said I don't have a spot right now.
You said that for real?
Yes. This is the guy that basically tutored Pat Mahomes for 5 years. Really 6. Matt Nagy basically got the job and he didn't call plays. Doug Peterson got the job and didn't call plays. But this man went was with you 5 years, had Pat Mahomes, 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, the 3rd Super Bowl appearance. But you don't have a spot for him.
Now, Faye, hold on. Now, stop real quick, bro. Now, let's be honest. I'm in the Super Bowl I got an OC. What you want him to say? You
I
want him to say, every enemy, yeah, I got a spot for him. He can't say that right now, man. Because what you finna do, that's just like, you saying you got a side chick and your wife, and then you can't say that. You can't say it.
You know what you can't say, Mike? No comment.
He can't. He said the right thing. I don't have a spot for him, but y'all didn't listen to the underlying word right now.
Let me make sure you say it right now.
I get both of y'all.
No, you can't. I can't say that I want Airbnb back, and let's just say he's sitting right here. Come on, bro.
I get that, but
I can't say that.
I get that, but I get that. The analogy you said with your wife right there in your side piece, I understand. But here's where I think I agree with Faith. If you don't want to cause confusion or anything like that, just say no comment. I'm concentrating on the Super Bowl right now. That's not a discussion I want to talk about.
But when you say no comment, a lot of times people take no comment as you really want him back, but I just can't say it right now. So you can't say no comment.
Right, you can say no comment. And
that's like if your wife coming. Think about this, and I'm going back to an analogy with a woman. If your wife come in the room and say, you like Holly Berry, don't you? And you say no comment, what do you think your wife gonna say and do? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you like her. So if you say no comment, that lets people mind think, okay, he really do want him back. So he had to say the most political thing he could say. He can't say he want him back. He can't say no comment. He got to say he don't have, because I mean, he telling the truth. I don't have a spot for him right now.
He telling the truth, but what I'm saying is, and Faye, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your thing. If this is how you feel and you don't want to ruffle any feathers anyway, you can say no comment. I want to concentrate on what I'm doing at this particular time. You don't have to say no comment and leave it alone. That's where you draw people saying, oh, he really do want to be in it. Look, I don't have no comment about that. I'm concentrating on trying to get the Super Bowl my 3rd in 6 years, and we could talk about that another time. Let's talk about this. That's all I'm saying. Then you ain't really ruffling no feathers either way. That's all I'm saying. I get you right. You know, your wife looking at you, you don't like her, really. You know what I'm saying? But she know the truth. But see, everybody in that, most reporters don't ask a question like that if they don't know already. They assume, yeah, he wish he had the enemy, because they would probably be more of a scoring. You know what I'm saying? That's why they ask questions like that. That's just my opinion. But you're right, Mike. I would have said no comment. I'm talking about the Super Bowl right now. The enemy is where he is. I don't want to talk about it. My focus is the Super Bowl and the staff that I have right now. Now, I mean, Fabe, if I'm wrong, you tell me.
I can see both points, but I mean, Andy could have said, well, there's another thing you could have said. I just wish he would have got a fair shake in Washington.
Right?
Yeah, I was shocked they let him go. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I was shocked.
You did. That's a power move to try to see to get Caleb Williams. But if I'm Chicago, I'm not trading that pick. You either draft Drake May or you get Marvin Harrison. You do it. If you don't, you drop down to the lowest I would drop will be to 3. That'll be the lowest
I wouldn't trade the pick if I'm Chicago at all.
I'll take my chance with
because they got their pickings on everything that they need. They got their pickings on everything that they need. I wouldn't draft it. If you want to go Harrison, that's on you. I wouldn't do it. But if you want to go Harrison, that's on you. I'm telling y'all, man, this is just my opinion. This me. I watched a whole lot of this boy's games. Drake May is a prototypical quarterback. And you get him, if you don't want Justin Fields, to me, I think Justin Fields is a serviceable quarterback. You put some around him in the offensive line where he ain't got to run for his life and take 10 years off his life after his first season. I think he's a very, very good quarterback. So a quarterback coach work with him and teach him not to just read 2 options and then take off. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. But you looking at Drake May, 6'4", 230 pounds, he still can run. And he has a very strong arm. You looking at things like that. If you want just a rocket for arms, you go Jaden Daniels, who also is very nimble. Caleb Williams don't run the draft for me. You don't want to play for me? Okay, I won't draft you. And that ain't gonna make me trade the pick unless there's a fool that want to give me the New Orleans pick where I just take your whole draft and I just have capital out the tail. You know what I'm saying? Or offer, an offer like that. Oh, you doing the Mike Ditka? Okay, bet. You know what I mean? I take that any day of the week because now I can build my team. But it is what it is.
Got a month for free agency, then the draft. Got baseball finna crank up in a little while. NBA trade deadline, which we didn't touch on. I don't think it's gonna be a hot deadline anyway. We'll recap that next week.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about that after the deadline because
I don't think a lot of moves gonna happen.
I don't think so either. But I would love to hear what y'all think about who should have did something.
So you should have did something. The Fort Valley Wildcats should have signed Jamal Jenkins to NIL.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, chicken tender. Do you thing, chicken tender? Go drop 50. Watch me get this button.
I'm gonna hit the A button on it.
Hit the A button.
Hey, that boy following me. Where he at, Mike, man?
I'll let you know, DJ.
You won't let me know.
Yes, DJ.
Of course, that's our show for tonight. After the Super Bowl, we might have a special show after the Super Bowl. We might have a Monday show. We don't know. We'll figure it out. You know how we do. We'll see.
I'll hold it down.
He's up. Oh, Usher, halftime show. That's gonna be a treat.